Hi guys, it's Helen from Dawn in Barbium, and as I don't really matter, I'm going to be standing up soon and Groot will be taking over. But it's baby Groot, well, teenage Groot, so even better. Today I'm going to be making my completely not safe for diabetics, so don't even attempt to eat it unless you have like your insulin right next to you. No baked cheesecake. Disclaimer is going to be all over this, and the story of Oshun losing her beauty. Now, Oshun is an Orisha. Orishas are goddesses. I've forgotten the country. How rubbish is that? Orishas are a type of god, and they're from a specific country in Africa. And there's only 40 odd countries in Africa, so I don't know why on earth I didn't write it down so I'd remember it. That's just me being stupid there. So I'll get to doing all this. As usual, recipe will be in the description. I tend to make things by eye. I will try and go by weights and measurements in the description box for you, but like I'll just be cutting butter up by eye because I know I use roughly X amount for roughly X amount of biscuits. So you'll see I'm messy. I am messy. By the way, you'll see where the big dink comes from in a second. Oh, and if anyone's noticed, yes, I have a new trolley. While I've been disappeared, I got a new trolley. Ha ha ha. She's beautiful. Right then. Start off with why this is a good recipe for bad days. Right. And usual disclaimer, sorry for being rubbish with names. Mare, the creator god, sits far in the heavens, right out of the way. Have you noticed that most of the most powerful gods just don't bother coming to earth? I'm just asking in general, because it is quite a common strain in like religions in general. Below him, in the skies and walking amongst us, are the Orishas. They like to live both in their godly home in the skies and live with us, protecting us, learning from us and teaching us. Which is why I like Orishas. My motorbike is called Oya, which is Oshun's sister wife. There's a third sister wife as well. I like them. You'd think I'd know the country really, wouldn't you? Stupid woman. Right? This story is about Oshun, the youngest Orisha. She's the goddess of fertility and is found in the sweet waters of the world, places like lakes and streams and rivers. Which is always a good thing. And probably, right, the thing that makes me think, right, her name is Oshun, right? And we say ocean, meaning like vast body of salty water. But she, Oshun, is a body of clear water, non-salty water. I just think that's a nice touch. And confuses people. Always good. Let me just bash these up a bit more, otherwise you're not going to hear me much. Right, when they're getting like this, you've got some small bits and some large bits. If you want to separate them, go like that. And the small bits will go to the bottom and the big bits will come to the top. and then you'll know where to bash. Stop it. Doesn't need to be perfectly little crumbs, but it does need to be fairly small. Bit like that. Can you see? Cool. Don't get rid of that. So, one day, some of the Orisha were tired of obeying a load of mare. How did he know how to rule the world and the skies and the universe when he was so far away? They decided they wanted to rebel. Oh yeah, that looks about there. Right. It's about 1.5 ounces. So that'll be, what, 35 grams, give or take. So, instead of striking them down, Olodumare decided to withhold the rains, which I think is a very cool backhanded tactic. Without the rains, the earth dried up. The rivers, lakes and streams ran dry. No crops grew. Animals were dying. Humans were dying too. The people thought they'd angered the Orisha and begged them to save us. What have we done to anger you? The Orisha knew it wasn't the humans. They knew it was the Orisha that had angered Olodumare. So they had to do something. They too pleaded for Olodumare to bring the rain, but he was too far away to hear them. Let's see if it was enough or if I need to put some more in. I think that might just be a little bit too dry by the fact it's not sticking very well to my knife. See that? That's what happens when you get cocky. Cooking on camera, it's bad for you. So they shouted up to Olodumare and begged him to bring the rains back. They promised that they'd never rebel again if he brought back the rain. But Olodumare was too far away. He couldn't hear a single word. Several of the Orisha tried to ascend to the heavens, but they couldn't reach Olodumare. So Oshun offered to try, but was laughed at. It's more than enough. That'll probably be too greasy, knowing me. How can someone so small and young as you do what your elders could not? They asked. Oshun persisted. Finally, the other Orisha, out of ideas and hope. Now see how it is? It's a bit more gluey and I've got bigger bits on me now. Relented, and as a last ditch attempt, they decided, well, what harm can it do? What side should I go for? going to give this just a quick once over, because it's black, and my children have a wonderful thing of not washing black things properly, because if you can't see it then it's not there, which is why that looks like that. You see that? Awesome. Right, this here is the 23 centimetre or 9-inch tin, because I'm going to forget later. Get in there. Mix around the big bits a bit. And then start off gently and slowly push it down. Right, if you try too hard in any one area, you'll end up with an uneven base, and it will just crack into pieces when you try and go and push down somewhere else. So if you do it this way, it tends to stick a little easier. Now I tend to go from the outside in. The reason why I do that is because, if you notice, nobody really minds when the inside, well, the middle of pie bottoms and the like kind of give way on them, but the outside they seem to want all nice and kind of showing their area. I suppose it's like anything, everybody likes a nice strong border, don't they? And when it gets to the middle, they're not that bothered. Typical. There we go, he's getting there. There we go. Can you see? I'm going to put that in the fridge in a minute. Second bowl. I'm going to keep talking a sec before I get on to the rest of the story. Right. Double cream, or if you do Elmley, you use the double Elmley. This is the condensed milk. This is why you don't let people with diabetes near it, because it's basically milky sugar, and I'm afraid if you're lactose intolerant, also not the greatest thing for you. Right, the reason why I was carrying on talking. Now, I've got the rest of the juices in here. I use 2 lemons and 2 limes. You can use 3 or 4 lemons, or if you don't have any fresh, just some bottled lemon juice will work. Now, if you don't have one of the, you know, the little lemon peelers where lemon juices, where it's got a little tall bit in and some ridges for you to go like that and get all the juice out. What I do is I get a bowl, I get a sieve, and I just squeeze out. You see, it doesn't matter if all the seeds come out. I'm going to try and get some seeds out on purpose now. Right. You just squeeze your lemon juice and your lime juice into the bowl all together. Some people may also like to grate some of the rind off to put on the top so it looks all pretty. I don't, just because I'm lazy. But then you've got all your juice in there mixed together. Go like that, and woohoo. Juice in the bowl, seeds not. Now what you do, you should get your spoon. I start mixing anyway, just because condensed milk is heavy, cream isn't. And then start adding the juice. The juice makes it curdle, right? And quite quickly too. Now where are you? There you are. And somebody has very cleverly put you behind the biggest thing possible. That won't be me, I can assure you, because that annoys me. Right, now I'm going to use the whisk, and it goes darker. I bet you can't tell, it goes darker, more to the condensed milk colour throughout than the cream colour, because of the juices causing the condensed milk and the cream, well, I say curdle, it thickens it, and because it's milk I call it curdling, but it isn't curdling like going gloopy like curdling does. Although apparently some people do find it does actually go gloopy like curdling does, so I'm assuming they're not mixing it fast enough. Now then, you can see already it's beginning to thicken up. So, get out my base again. So, where were we? Ah, yes. So, the Orisha had decided to let Oshun attempt to go and speak to a load of mare, something that they had all failed to do. Well, some of the ones who had tried had failed to do. She was young and she was small and she'd never ever make it. Never. So, Oshun turned into a beautiful peacock and she began to fly upwards towards a load of mare. And she flew towards the heavens, and it was so far away that the feathers began to fall off. And it was so far away that when she reached the sun, her feathers began to burn. Can you imagine that? A beautiful peacock, its feathers falling off and burning off. Just as she was about to give up and either go home or die, I'm not sure which, because it doesn't really specify. There you go, that's where it is. It goes back into the fridge now to settle. And within about 2 to 3 hours, it has a consistency of a no-bake cheesecake. So just a bit softer than a baked cheesecake. Absolutely gorgeous, and people suddenly become addicts to cheesecakes. I can tell you that from personal experience. Yeah, so she couldn't fly another mile, and she reached the home of the creator god, Olodumare. So she collapsed in his arms, and he saw that the beautiful peacock had been transformed into a vulture. Olodumare took Oshun and nursed her back to health. He said, "Your bravery have softened my heart, and I will bring back the rains From now on, dear vulture, you will be the messenger of the house of Mare, and I will communicate only through you. So Oshun, as a vulture, returned to earth to honour and praise, and her gifts of determination and inner strength had saved the world. So she'd started off as a beautiful peacock and ended up the ordeal as a vulture. And not only that, she'd gone from being this girl that nobody actually believed could do anything to being the hero of the situation. Even though she'd gone from being a beautiful peacock into basically a carrion bird, because she did what nobody else could do. She'd saved the day. Good on Oshun. Moral of the story, yeah, it's the small pretty ones that you got to watch out for, because they're the ones that are stubborn. Right, that's the end of that story, and the end of me making my cheesecake. As I say, a few hours in the fridge, and the topping goes hard. Just cut it and serve it like a normal cheesecake. I'm going to say a carton of cream. This is 300ml, but you can use the larger cream, the same amount of everything else, and just a large cream, and it works just as well. So it's up to you how big a cheesecake you need. You don't have to double the amount. I think the larger cream, is it like 700ml or something? So it's not as though you have then, because you want a larger cheesecake, you have to double everything. You just use a larger double cream. And you might need a bit more lemon juice sometimes. I find you tend not to, I'm going to be honest. But yes, a lot of people like my cheesecakes, which is why I thought I'd share it, because if so many people like it, it's not something you want to keep to yourself. I don't think, anyway. I'm not one of them people that sits there and goes, no, over my dead body, because when I'm dead, what's the point then? If I haven't told anyone, it's not going to live on, is it? Anyway, have fun. Don't do anything I haven't done, and thank Oshun for the fact that we still have some water going. And maybe we need to send a vulture up again, because we seem to be running out of water all over the world. A few quick prayers over to Oshun. Send a vulture up to a load of mare. Just saying. I don't know. I'm just making conversation. Do I think it will help? No, I don't. I think we need to do absolutely loads of hard work in graft, but we're humans, so we're lazy, and we just think somebody else will do it. Just an idea. And I'll put in the description where the Orishas are from, because I can't believe I've forgotten. I bet next time I go anywhere near my Oya, she's going to break down, isn't she? Just, yeah. How dare you forget where I'm from? Oof. Yeah, that's going to happen. No, seriously, that is just my luck. So, yes, have fun. Enjoy your cheesecake. No to diabetics. Bad for diabetics. Understood? No, seriously. Understood. And I'll see you soon. Know your power. Bye.